Hello again. Thank you for watching this third and final of the videos on the subject of illegal immigration. As I said from the very beginning, the two sides of this debate are summed up in the following. On one side you have truth and sanity. On the other side you have lies and insanity. I want to begin today with a description of one of the insanities involved in the open borders idea that many promote. Shortly after 9/11/2001, when this country was attacked in our homeland, the American government sent way over 100,000 troops to foreign soil to fight terrorists in order to protect the homeland. During that time and the time since then, the people who were supposed to be responsible for protecting the homeland and securing our borders have done little to secure the borders. And during this time, millions more people have entered the country and are staying illegally. Now, we sent all of those troops overseas to protect the homeland. And during that period of time, 5,000 or 6,000 Americans were killed in behalf of that effort. And yet, the doors were, so to speak, left open for people to come in and to wreak havoc, in some cases, on American citizens. In fact, are you aware of the fact that since 9/11, when 3,000 Americans were killed by terrorists, that during that period of time from 9/11 until today, that 60,000 U.S. citizens have estimated to have been killed by those who are here illegally, or either those who came legally and refused to leave. Recently, Jeb Bush, when he was talking about this matter of illegal immigration, said, there are little crimes and big crimes, and this one really is kind of just a love crime. I wonder if the families of those who had loved ones that were killed by these people who were here illegally consider it to be just a love crime. And of course, President Obama has released a number of illegals who were in prison, many of them convicted of serious crimes, and for a while at least they were just roaming the streets in the land of America. All of this to protect our homeland overseas, isn't it insane that our government has simply opened the doors and allowed all sorts of people to come through? We see in this recent surge of children, but not just children, they're teenagers and adults. Some are gang members and things of this nature. They're bringing various diseases to this country. We don't know yet if anyone has brought in the Ebola virus. But with the way the doors are open now and there is no protection of the border, it could happen. Not only that, recently James O'Keefe, a filmmaker, made a brief movie in which he went across to the other side, the Mexican side of the border, and crossed the Rio Grande, and there was not a patrol agent in sight, nor was one seen for miles. So then he went back again across and dressed up like Osama bin Laden and with a bin Laden mask on himself. And again he waded across the river and came to American soil. And again there was no one in sight. Is that insanity? Or is that sane? I think that's pretty easy to answer, isn't it? The final thing that I want to talk with you about is things illustrated on the board here behind me. On this board we have, of course, the home country that we talked about earlier in this series. And we have houses up here representing people living there. The dark blue houses are Democrat family houses. The red ones are Republicans. Now, in each election, when people vote, their vote does two things. Number one, it is counted in the total vote, but it also has a power that maybe you've never thought about. And that is the power to cancel out someone else's vote. For instance, this household here that voted Republican, you have this one that voted Democrat, and if you'll notice, there's actually 8 Republican votes and 8 Democrat votes. Now, It's true that they voted and the votes were counted, but those votes do not affect the outcome except in the sense that they cancel each other out. You're going to have more votes from someplace on either side in order to get a winner. Sometimes you'll have a husband and wife, one a Republican, the other a Democrat, and they ride together in their car to the polls, and one votes Democrat and one votes Republican, and essentially they have canceled each other's vote out. They still voted, but as far as the outcome of the election, their vote was canceled by the other. Now, in all of these red and blue houses, you have people who are born here and have been American citizens all their life. They've worked, paid taxes. Many of them have fought and sacrificed for their country in the military. And they have worked hard and paid their taxes and been law-abiding citizens. And so they vote in the election. Their votes are up there. But now in these green blocks, these green houses that we see here, these are people who have come to this country illegally and stayed here, and they're living here illegally. And many of them have done various things that we talked about earlier that are illegal. But now, if we make citizens out of those people, as many people are advocating, do you realize what we are doing? We are giving to these people the opportunity to cancel out the votes of people who have been here all of their life as citizens or who have immigrated legally to the United States. Now, is that right? Is there anything sane about allowing people, rewarding them indeed, with our highest prized possession, the right to vote, by giving it to them and allowing them to cancel out however many million of these they are? Now, some people say, oh, well, the Republicans are just concerned because they think they'll vote more Democrat. No, that's really not the issue. The issue has to do with the principles of law, and do we reward lawbreakers with the very highest privilege that we have, being citizens and allowed to vote? I think that's insane. No, we should not do that. We should never, even though we may decide to give them some legal status or some of them to stay, we should never give them citizenship and thereby enable these people to cancel out the votes of people who have followed the law and always been legal American citizens or have immigrated legally. And so, are you willing? Some people say, well, let's just make them citizen. That'd be a nice thing to do. Are you willing to have your vote canceled by one of these people who have broken into our country? That is insane. So I urge you not only to share these videos with other people, but then to get on the phone and call your congressman and every congressman in your state and other states as well, and let them know that you do not, under any circumstances, want these people to be given citizenship and deprive you of the full value of your vote as an American citizen. I thank you for your time in listening to these things, and I hope that you will carefully think about them and, as I said, share them with others. Have a good day.